Oh wait, so are we on? My bad. Got into the ice cream a little early, guys. Welcome back to my channel, ShadeTV. My name is Marissa Hill. If you have been wondering where I've been, I decided to take a week off with everything going on, but not to worry. We are back with a treat for you guys today. I wish I could feed you some of this ice cream actually, but I'm just gonna take one more bite of this before we start. That's some good stuff. My goodness. I think I just got a huge chunk of caramel and chocolate in there, but that was worth it. If you haven't already, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, as well as give this video a like at the end if you enjoyed it. And as always, comments are so appreciated. And don't forget, hit that notification bell because we want to let you guys know as soon as we have new videos coming out. And on that note, with subscribers, I just want to give a big shout out to KMoney. Yay, KMoney. You are one of my my most appreciated, one of my most appreciated followers. He actually won 3 of the Nike SB times Ben & Jerry dunks. Oh my God. But this guy truly deserves it. He comes from such a good place, has such a great heart. And not to mention, so this quick clip of him, he actually was giving food. He went over to Cane's and decided to just get some food after a busy long day to a homeless couple. And here's that clip, guys.
Alright y'all, so I'm here in downtown Denver and pretty much, today has been pretty good for me. I've been blessed with a pair of shoes that I really want and I feel good, and I just want to pass on that, positive and good vibe. So I'm here. I pretty much bought some canes. Gonna just be giving it out, and some masses, a set of masses as well. Just gonna be giving it out to one of these people, just making their days, and hopefully for you guys as well. If you guys are feeling some good day, somebody made your day or something, try to pass that good vibe along. All right, y'all. All right. So I just want to do some goods and some masses as well. So stay safe, all right? All right.
Thanks so much, KMoney, for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate you and all that you do to give back to your community. It is so much appreciated. It is so nice to see somebody who is a sneakerhead who is doing more than just buying sneakers. He's, really thinking about other people other than himself. So once again, you guys know I do on a continuous basis give shout outs to some of my subscribers. So keep up the participation on those comments and those likes, and I will continue to give my community a shout out. Which leads me into what our unboxing is today. I think you guys got a good enough clue here. Today we're going to be unboxing the shoe I have been waiting to film for so long and to show you guys, and that is the Nike SB times Ben & Jerry collab with the low dunks and the pro version. So we are going to get into it. Don't need to wait any longer. Oof. We have this lovely swirl paper here. And take this off. Close this back up here. Whew. My goodness. I definitely got to pull these guys out too. Already kind of mixed and matched these laces here, but I want you guys to see all the different options that this shoe came with. Getting so excited. These shoes, my goodness, when you look at them, it's like, bam!
Bam! There you have it like that, all right?
So as we all know, this was probably the most complicated, most sought after shoe in the year 2020. This is just such a unique shoe. I'm going to go through it piece by piece because this shoe truly deserves every inch being talked about. So if you do not know what the SB stands for, that's skateboarding. That is a line in the Nike arena. So let's just go through this. I'm glad that I actually have this Ben & Jerry ice cream carton because it's important to see where some of these concepts and ideas came from. And as you see this carton next to the shoe, you can really see why they decided to design it the way that they did. So looking at the toe box here, we have this beautiful sky blue colorway. And that sky blue colorway is exemplified as the sky on the Ben & Jerry carton. Then we have this lovely cow. So of course they came up with a genius idea to replicate a cow pattern, but they used actual fur that wraps around the back of the sole here on the medial and lateral portion of the shoe all the way around. And that is just a crazy print. I mean, we've obviously seen the elephant print on some of the Jordans, but this is a print that I've never seen on a Nike shoe. I've actually never seen a cow print really on a shoe before. And this, for some reason, it just works. It's just an amazing combination. Then we have what looks like this beautiful greenery of rolling hills. And that's just underneath this amazing swoosh that's melting. And the vibrant, bright yellow really reminds me of the Chunky Monkey flavor for the banana ingredients. And that's just like a great color combo that I feel like they went with for that swoosh because it just pops on top of everything that's going on here because we've got such bright colors. We've got this, sky blue leather, the greenery for the hills rolling, and then on top of that, it was like, you know what, let's just add a bold color on top of that as well. And then we've got more green here. We have like this white midsole, but on the bottom of the midsole, we've got this nice green colorway to match those rolling hills, as well as some more light blue that's wrapping around the collar here. And then I love that what Nike did is they kept true to the Ben & Jerry font. They didn't get rid of the font. They didn't use their own. They kept true to that. So that's what you see on the back here. The Nike's actually in that Ben & Jerry font. And you even see the clouds here. They're dispersed on the back side of the sole up there. And that mimics, obviously, the clouds that we see on the ice cream carton as well. And one of my favorite additions to the shoe is actually this sick freaking tie-dye that they have in here. I'm obsessed with tie-dye. Tie-dye has been so big this year, and they did such a great job putting it on the inside part of the tongue. So not only do you have that cow fur on the tongue here, but you also have the tie-dye on the inside as well as on the collar of the shoe going all the way into that insole there. And then you have the Ben & Jerry times Nike SB on the insole there. And then it has, if it's not fun, why do it? And that's actually Ben & Jerry's motif. They're very much about signifying having fun and just enjoying yourself. And so I think that's actually just the perfect saying to have inside the shoe with, of course, the Ben & Jerry logo on top of that. And then moving on to the shoelaces, you have so many options here. I decided to go with this green and yellow just combination. But I mean, obviously you can do plain simple white. You can go both yellow, both green. But I love that they give you so many options. I mean, the shoe is just such a bold, vibrant shoe. It says Nike SB on the bottom here. And it's kind of like a lime green, which really goes with that lime green in the tie-dye. Oh, I'm just obsessed with this shoe. There's just so many different colorful accents that they added, and there's just such a transformative construction that they built into the shoe. So with this specific shoe, this low actually has this extremely padded tongue here. It's extra squishy, so you're definitely gonna find comfort in that. And as well as this collar here, it's very well stuffed and padded as well, and it has a cushioned insole. So you're gonna find that cushioning in there, extremely padded when you're moving and walking up and down. And then if you look at the upper, this is made of basically a durable cover and has several layers. And so if you talk to a skateboarder, they're actually going to tell you that all of those different layers and the durable cover that it has is going to give the shoe a bit of a longer lifespan, which is much needed when you're beating up your shoes. I don't know if you want to beat up these shoes necessarily because they're so beautiful, but hey, they're your shoes. You can do whatever you want with them. Whew, I just need to take a moment and just take these sneakers in. My goodness. This is a beautiful, beautiful shoe. How many of you guys actually saw the guy that took an ice cream scoop and put his ice cream inside the shoe and ate it? I'm looking at this ice cream right now, which is actually melting. So I'm going to take this top layer so it doesn't overflow onto my counter. But I'm eating my ice cream, as you can see. I don't want this ice cream near my shoes. I'm sorry. The two just don't mix, in my opinion. But did you guys find that controversial where you're like, oh my God, never in my life would I do that? Or are you like, you know what? Hey, I think that's actually a cool thing to do. Why don't I just scoop some ice cream in my shoe and eat it out of it? Also, I'm hoping that he hadn't worn those shoes before. I think they were hopefully brand new. So it was like eating out of a clean bowl, but who knows? All right, so now I'm going to show you guys basically a quick clip of how this idea formed between Ben & Jerry and the Nike SB line and how they actually collaborated in putting this concept and this idea together.
My name is Steve Pelletier, and my title is Senior PLM on the footwear for Nike SB. Our footwear team was on a trip in Europe. We were just having a good time in the cab on the way to the airport, and we were just brainstorming, and somehow the Chunky Dunky came up. And we started to think, should we do a project with Ben & Jerry's? The exciting parts about the project are the Ben & Jerry's aesthetic. When you look at how much fun Ben & Jerry's has with all their marketing materials, their packaging, their messaging, and a lot of that's done in a way where they're trying to better the world. And I think Nike SB is pretty similar. Right away, we knew we wanted to use cow print. We knew we wanted to have blue leather for skies, and we wanted to have some tie-dye on it for some fun. They sent us, some rules to stay within and some info that really kind of made the project special. The shape of the clouds, the font, the Ben & Jerry's font that you see on the heel tab, on the tongue label. Shooting the stuff with David Nicholas, the designer on this project, he came up with the idea of the melty swoosh, and that really just finished off the project. Brings the ice cream element really in. People understand it, people love it, and it's just a super fun look. So I think that's one of my favorite parts. And of course, the cow print, because it sings off the shoe and you can see it from a mile away.
All right, I hope everyone enjoyed that little background clip. I kind of want to just go into a little more detail because Jay Curley was not mentioned in the whole idea of this shoe that came into conceptualization. So he is actually the global head of integrated marketing at Ben & Jerry's, and he was definitely a huge part in the creation of this shoe. Curley says that Nike provided the spark for the shoe, first approaching the ice cream company almost 2 years ago, which it feels crazy because I don't know, I feel like this leak that happened with this shoe, we've been waiting almost for a year, it's felt like, but glad to know it wasn't leaked anytime sooner than that because I don't think I could have waited 2 years knowing about this shoe because it's just insane. The designers then handled how the sneaker would look, which mostly remained the same during its development. Curley describes partnering with Nike as an easy process, aided by the fact that Steven Pelletier, who you saw in the video earlier, was actually a friend of his who he's known for 20 years. And he's actually the senior product line manager over at the Nike team for the SB section, which you saw in the video earlier. The two met at St. Michael's College in Vermont. So some nice little history between a Ben & Jerry person and an SB Nike person. The two just came together and made this magical shoe. All right, let's get in now to the styling portion for this shoe. I had such an amazing time styling this. It's one of those shoes where I feel like you can just go all out, balls to the walls. That's kind of what I got with this shoe, because they just didn't care. I mean, it's just like Ben & Jerry's, you know, they're just a free thinking company and they're so creative in their outlets for design. And so I kind of just wanted to give you guys some 3 different options. You know, one was a bit more subtle, one was a bit more crazy, but just to give you an idea of how these shoes really pop with everything that I wore. I feel like no matter what you wear, this is always going to be the statement piece. It's just like, you know, that look at me type of shoes. This is like the lead singer of the band every time. And so as far as it goes, I don't think I created an outfit or a look where these shoes were just kind of depleted from the picture. These were always the statement piece. So the first actual styled item that I went with was a white t-shirt, which was my CDG times Cactus Plant Flea Market shirt. And the thing I loved about pairing that shirt with some simple white wide leg pants by John Lab was that, you know, I really wanted kind of a subtle, clean colorway to just really make these shoes shine. And the thing I liked about the CDG Cactus Plant Flea Market t-shirt is that it has this massive smiley face that's bright yellow. And I have yellow laces on here, as well as this amazing melting swoosh in bright yellow. So the two just, I feel like, really partnered well together and made each other pop. But it was just a great accented color that really just worked well with that subdued white. I also paired it with my Supreme fanny pack, and the fanny pack is actually the same colorway as the cow print. And it's not the same, obviously, the same pattern as the cow print is, but there's just something about the fact that it has like a similar colorway pattern to it that made it just organically work well with this cow pattern. And so that was my first look. I thought it was just, you know, a little simpleness paired with a little brightness, and I think that it worked perfectly. And the wide leg pants were just a great option. I think wide leg pants are really coming back in, and it really kind of exemplifies the shoes because the bottom of the jeans, they're super extremely wide. So it just brings your attention straight to these shoes. Okay, so next up, my item I wore next, I'm actually wearing the t-shirt here. This is my Murakami Billie Eilish t-shirt that was a collab done with Uniqlo. The thing I love about this t-shirt is just the variations of color. Murakami is known for this kind of cute sunflower print going on here with bright pops of variations of colors. And it just kind of sold me with this tie-dye. I love how the tie-dye really just, you know, subdued, but it still pops depending on what you're wearing it with. And so I just feel like all of these colors in this t-shirt really worked well with the patterns and the colors of this shoe. And then I actually paired this with a printed skirt. So I went with a leopard print skirt from Forever 21. Just a simple pattern that's definitely not the cow print, but there's something that I love about pattern on pattern. And I don't think that you always have to have the same exact pattern to make things work. And that's why I had this awesome leopard print skirt to go with these shoes. And because the shoe is just so playful, and that's really kind of where this concept derived from, its playfulness and having fun. I actually went to Crayola and purchased the Crayola Experience, like this cute little Crayola museum, and I bought some socks there. And so I was like, oh my God, they have some great hot pinks going on in the tie-dye, and I'm like, I think those socks would actually just be such an amazing addition to the look. So I added a pair of Crayola socks with this, and it just really, I don't know, just kind of sealed the deal with that outfit for me. And so that was my second look. The last look is a bit more subdued because I wanted to obviously give you guys a second or third option if you don't really want to wear crazy prints with this, which, you know, that's totally fine too. You don't need to go all out. So with the last look, I have some Free People sweatpants, and I paired that with an H&M denim shirt, and then I put a Ivy Park kind of hooded, cropped, just sweatshirt over that. And, you know, it's just one of those things where I feel like you can really pair these shoes with anything. And with this, it was just a more simplistic look to kind of have this be the statement piece. I mean, for sure, the outfit was so neutral. So, like, when I was walking around, people were looking at me like, oh my God, look at those shoes. And, you know, I just definitely am all about comfort, and I love my sweats. So this is just a great, great shoe to pair with comfy sweats. And I think this is going to go with a variation of sweat colors, so it doesn't necessarily need to be the gray that I wore. Like, I feel like this could go with a black pair of sweats. This could go with, this would look dope actually with tie-dye sweats. I mean, there's just so many variations and so many different things that you can work with, including this lace game. I mean, my God, you guys know how crazy I am about laces. So, whew, I had fun styling this one. All right, let's talk about sizing now. I originally did a video on the Comme des Garçons Nike collab for the Dunks prior to this video. And in that sizing, I basically recommended that you go a half a size down. So typically I'm a 7.5 in men's, and for that specific silhouette, I actually went a half a size down from that to a size 7, which would be an 8.5 in women's. The 7.5 is typically my size 9 in women's. This obviously is a different type of dunk. This is the SB dunk, so it's a bit different than that version that I did the video on. So for this specific silhouette, I mean, I know that a lot of you are probably like, I didn't cop this shoe, but you probably in the future want to shop for an SB dunk. So I think it's important that you know the sizing on this. And I would basically stay true to size. And if you don't currently own an SB dunk, I know that a lot of people own Air Force Ones, and I think that's a very similar silhouette that you can compare to this. So whatever size you are in Air Force One, I would stick true to that size. I'm a 7.5, so I would stick true to my size, which is a size 9 in women's. And also, I mean, depending on how you like to wear your shoes, I like to wear my shoes pretty tight, which is why I stayed true to size, but I potentially could go up to a size 8 if, for instance, I decided this was a shoe that I wanted to wear in the wintertime with thicker, fuller socks. But with this specific silhouette, I see myself wearing it more in the spring, summertime with a lot thinner socks. So I'd rather it be on the more tighter side. All right, now that it's that time, we are into our history portion of the show. So the Nike Dunks actually released in 1985. That was a long time ago. I had no idea. And it's basically known as the second cousin of the Air Jordan 1 and has been seen as inferior to the Air Force 1. This is definitely a shoe that I feel like has not gotten a lot of love in past years, and it took a while for people to really just gravitate to it. So the Dunk actually originally rolled out as a college basketball shoe, which I had no idea. I thought that this was actually always a skateboarding shoe, but it was not. And it was known for having that two-tone colorway for each of the colleges that it represented. And so it wasn't actually until the late 90s that this shoe rolled out for skateboarders. And when this started coming out in 2002 as like the SB Dunks, they added this thick, fat tongue to it. Air Zoom cushioning was added in there. And so it was just kind of recreating a different shoe that was a manageable shoe that worked well for the skater community. And yeah, I mean, this is just, I love this squishy tongue. I think this has to be one of my favorite parts about the shoe. So let's get more into Ben & Jerry and Nike. So both of those businesses started in the 1970s, around the same time, which is pretty crazy. And they both had this sense of entrepreneurialism with roots in small colleges. So Nike was from Portland, Oregon, while Ben & Jerry's was from Burlington, Vermont. And the two kind of had this like hippie kind of flow going in those two havens, which I know because I went to a school similar in Washington State. The SB line as well is just really rooted in creativity and fun. And that's kind of why I think this was just a great collaboration for Ben & Jerry's to jump in on this collab, because I feel like as history goes, the company really signifies kind of similar attributes to the SB line with that creativity and outlets to really show different examples of different creative things. And the Chunky Dunky was basically, I feel like, a shoe that was oriented more towards mainstream. I think you're gonna have both sides of the story, where those people who are diehard SB fans look at this shoe and kind of laugh because it's not really in line with what they're used to seeing and what they really like at the core. But then you have the mainstream people who are looking at the shoe as something that they've never seen before, and maybe somebody who's not really big into sneakers saw a picture of this and they were like, oh my god, I need to have that sneaker. I want this to kind of be like my first big sneaker game. And so, you know, I look at SB as something that's always been about kind of taking risks. And Ben & Jerry's historically has been actually a company that's taken risks. And I don't know if many of you remember, but they actually had an ice cream that was released. It was like a Saturday Night Live rendition, and they called it Sweaty Balls.
Now, did I pronounce your name correctly?
You sure did. Pete Schweddy.
Well, Pete, Terry and I have been looking forward to having you on the show because we know you're the master of all kinds of Christmas goodies. Tell us about them.
Well, there are lots of great treats this time of year. Zucchini bread, fruitcake. But the thing that I most like to bring out at this time of the year are my balls.
Balls.
And that really uprooted and pissed off a ton of people. And it seems like the two have kind of pushed things to different limits. And so some probably questioned, you know, why would Nike partner with an ice cream company? But when you look at the two spectrums and the identities for each, for the SB line and Ben & Jerry's, it just really kind of meshes and molds together very well. And I feel like that's really historically, it wasn't, you know, really a time maybe when the two companies started to join, but like as things transitioned and as the two companies kind of grew into their own, it just became, I feel like, the perfect time for the two to just do this collaboration. Now for the resale portion of the show. I know you guys have probably been anticipating this, or maybe you just already know how resale is going with these shoes, but these were extremely limited. This is basically like winning the lottery if you got a pair of these shoes. So definitely in the end of this video, leave me comments if you were able to cop this, because I don't know, this is just one of those extremely exclusive releases, which always, of course, tends to make that resale value skyrocket. And these shoes, of course, are lower on the retail scale. They went for only $100, which is a steal for all the effort and work that went into these shoes. But now, if you're looking at purchasing these shoes, the average sale price is around $1,600, which is mind-blowing, very mind-blowing. The Friends and Family Edition, which I do not have here, which actually came, as many of you probably have seen, in that ice cream tub of ice cream that's like the size of a shoebox. That's going on an average price of $3,800, which is insane. I don't know what it would take for me to want to pay around $4,000 for a sneaker that retailed for $100. That's a pretty steep increase, and I definitely do not see that value going down anytime soon, because this colorway is going to be fire for the summertime, and I definitely think that the price will remain that, if not go up. The only other shoe that went this crazy was actually the Heineken collab that they did with Nike. That shoe literally came out over 2 decades ago. If any of you even remember it, I actually had to go back and look it up because I was like, the Heineken SB shoe, what was that? And so that shoe's resale currently is $4,665. That is the lowest price point up for that shoe now. It goes up to, I think, around $15,000. And the last sale on that shoe was $4,400. So that just goes to show that the SB Dunks are definitely maintaining and staying true to their value. So I feel like this Ben & Jerry collab is definitely going to maintain this high price value. So I don't think that if you're expecting to buy this, soon or later and hoping for the price to drop, I just don't see it really dropping that much. And that being, I feel like this year Nike has really been setting this silhouette up for success. I mean, we've had some major drops earlier in the year. We saw the Travis Scott collab that they did. That flew off the shelves. That was peaking at $1,500 on StockX for resale. Then we had the Kentucky and the Syracuse colorways, which flew off the shelves. Those were an insane colorways. Then we had Virgil pop in here and do an off-white collaboration with 3 colorways, and those were a huge hit. And then, sorry, I got something in my eye here. We had basically the Strange Love collab. I even think back to when Wu-Tang did a collab, and those were just like the mids in this version, and those flew off the shelves. But this year has just been so strong. This is the year of the Dunks. If you did not know that, 2020 is that time frame for this specific silhouette. And so I think Nike is definitely going to be coming out with some more insane collabs this year, just because this is the silhouette and the shoe that they will be pushing, and they're just doing an incredible job with it. So I can't wait to see what is next on the list. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. As always, I love doing these unboxing videos for you. Want to leave you with a quote, actually, by Curly. From the half pipe to the half baked, this is an ice cream dream come true. And I feel like that is so reminiscent of this entire video and this shoe collab. So until next time, guys, we're going to be doing a lot more collabs, unboxings, and other videos on cleanings and things like that. So stay tuned to what's going on. I know there's a lot going on in the world, but I hope that I was at least able to give you a break from all of that, to just step away and see what's going on in the shoe game. So don't forget, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, as well as leave me a comment. I really, really, really appreciate all of your support, and it's so much needed to get this, whole vision of mine off the ground, and I can't do it without you guys. So thanks again. We will see you next time.